All right. All right. Can I get everybody in the room? So I got to check real quick. If you attended one community service opportunity, put your hand up. If you came to two, put your hand up. 3, 4. All right. We got at least 3. I love that for us. Um, of course, I'm going to keep referencing this that obviously we're here celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and just the work and the service that he poured into the community. And so, as I will continue to say, today is a day on and not a day off. And so, while we did the community service leading up to get you in the room, I hope that you don't wait until this time next year to get back out in the community and do something for somebody else. How many of y'all watch the Best Man series? One of my favorite parts of that was watching the little girl constantly give her food to somebody else because that's what she was taught to do, is that there's always more. I'm able to get more, right? How many of y'all say it with me? More? Say more. Yeah, I believe that this year my cup is overflowing, so there's always more to come, okay? My cup is running over, and so I claim that. I put that on y'all as well. And on that note, this next person, these next 2 people, I have had the pleasure of watching over the years and watching their cup overflow and just how they pour back into the community. So before I bring them up, we're going to watch a clip from Ink by Callie's Ink Therapy. We got some ink people in here.
What's your take on failure? It's the most important part of the step. If you don't fail, you don't learn. Right? Imagine if everything you ever wanted to pray for happened the day that you asked for it.
Yeah. You wouldn't appreciate it.
How long would your life movie be? Be a 15-second premiere.
Yep.
Right? When you sit down in the movie theater, you got 2 hours on the screen. Like, man, your life got to be extended out a little bit more.
That's facts.
So, like any other plot, there's going to be ups and downs to it.
I agree with that. I agree. I like the way you worded that.
Yeah.
Because that's true. It's like your life. It's your life.
Yeah, you just got to man, bro, I thank God that everything I asked for didn't happen the day that I asked.
Because you probably wasn't ready for it.
If it would have happened the day I asked for it, I would have fumbled everything. I would have been prepared the way I am now. I wouldn't know how to be grateful for it. I wouldn't know how to cherish it. I wouldn't know how to share it with others.
That's
like the most important thing, is I wouldn't know how to share it with others. If God gave me everything I prayed for 5 years ago, man, I would have been sitting to myself thinking life is sweet. I didn't know how important it was to give it out to others and share what you got with the world.
Yeah.
Man, I had one of my clients took me lessons in cyclical, bro, and they come back in cycles.
Man, yeah. If we doing something similar a lot of times, a lot of times, like, your partner don't want to see you do better than. And I think that be like the biggest issue. Like, a motherfucker like a rich B, they act like they support you, but in reality, bro, like, you do something good and it's like, congratulations, like, that shit dry as like. In reality, I had a girlfriend like that.
It's at a point with my girl with 5 years, I stopped telling her my act, because every time I told her somebody, she started like, she dry hate, because she would, you know what I'm saying? And it made me semi lose confidence in my shit, because I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying? If you do something good, you want to just feel like, but you can't even tell your partner your shit, so you just, your light kind of dip.
And then it's like you want to share that with certain people. You don't want to just show as a guild to everybody.
The person you want to give it to ain't really giving what you want out of it.
I feel like what I'm learning now is to appreciate. And I feel like no matter where you are, no matter if you where you want to be or you're not, still appreciate moment. Cause sometimes I'll be reminiscing like when I was a janitor, and I'm just so thankful for that time. Like, I'm so thankful. And the one thing I can't say, when I was waking up, I could clean toilets and stuff. Like, bro, I was happy. I was happy. And like, I told my mom, like, if I'm gonna be a janitor, I'm gonna be the best janitor this gym ever seen. Like, they gonna miss me when I love type stuff. Like, I took pride in what I did, even though it wasn't like what looked the best. People gotta understand is like, we shouldn't go to therapy when something goes wrong. We should go to therapy all the time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we deal with so much subconsciously, you gotta realize it. So it's like, go to therapy when you're having a great, yeah. Go to therapy when, you're just kind of off. And, or another thing, if you go into a therapist, but then build that with your partner, that y'all could talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you something that I realized in my years of my life, when it comes to relationship as black men and women, where we're feeling that, then we don't talk about it on social media besides chastising and saying the wrong and the right. We have to be honest with our relationship, how we are honest with our best friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need y'all to put your hands together for Ink by Callie and Ronaldo Nehemiah. Hello. How you doing? I feel like the perfect clip just ended right there. Talking therapy in the Black community. I mean, I feel like we could spend the whole time talking about this, but you have put a spin on what therapy looks like. When we think about talking to somebody we don't know about our issues, we immediately clam up and we don't want to share. But we're willing to share all of our business with our friends, our peers, just for them to give us some temporary advice. I kind of feel like it might work for a minute, but until you really face those things, my mom always says, feelings buried alive never die. And so give me a little insight as to how ink therapy even came to be.
Y'all can hear me? All right, so I've been getting tattooed like my entire life. So if anybody know my backstory, I did music years ago. I'm a Throwback Thursday artist. But I got into getting tattoos because I saw Lil Wayne get a tattoo. Oh man, I wouldn't cut it up like that. But then when I would have stuff going on in my life, I would go get a tattoo versus me like relying on drugs, alcohol, or I would just go get some ink. And that was like my therapy. So like, of course, like the years of me tattooing, when people would come sit in my chair, I realized I'm a therapist. Like as you in life, we chase accomplishments, we chase goals, but I started at the point where I wanted to chase the most vulnerable conversation with somebody. What the conversation I could have with somebody, not only what I could say could help them, but it could also help me too. I started ink therapy recently as far as doing the episodes. I lost my mom last year, January 11th, and it was tough. It was tough for me. I just needed to channel my pain, put my pain into something. I wanted to go to therapy myself. I tried it. It was tough. I cried. It was hard. So I met my guy Chase. That's who directs and films everything. I told him my vision, what I want to do. He said, let's do it. And from there forward, once I start putting episodes out there and start filming them, everything's worked out. So it's like, that's my therapy. But I'm also realizing that, like, I see when people come get tatted all the time. Like, I'm so thankful. I have people crying in my chair because it's just not a tattoo anymore. It's a form of art. It's a timeline of your life. It's something that you can look back on and remember, like, oh, this is what I was going through at this time of my life. I don't even cover my own tattoo because it's a reminder. It's a time stamp. Okay, this is where I was at. This is what's going on. And this, because sometimes you gotta remember why you started. Like, it's a starting point. So that's kind of like where it's still.
And I love taking it back just a little bit more. Like when I look at us and I look at the ink community, I mean, we are campuses. And so how we decide, maybe you might not talk a lot, but your tattoos speak for themselves. It's just like what we were talking to Alex about. Everything is up for interpretation, whether you know the story or not. And so, Ronaldo, what I loved about the clip you just said, the clip that was just up, was that when we think about therapy and we're thinking about, addressing our own issues, sometimes you do need to take that extra step and go with a friend or go with your other relationships. It's not always just the person that you've been with. Or who you're dating, but I feel like those practices carry over into your day-to-day relationships. So can we talk a little bit about that and just the importance, just as us in the Black community, of how important it just is to go or have a friend like Callie who provides safe spaces?
Yeah, I think it's very important. I think, I didn't realize how healthy going to therapy was until I got old. Um, we're like a trauma that even our parents don't even realize that they have. I mean, my mother is 60 something years old. I'm 40. She never, from now that I'm older, I realize she's never been to therapy. She doesn't understand what that is. She would take it as it's a bad thing. You get what I'm saying? So, and then I just look at how us as African Americans, as young black men and women, how like we be in relationships with people and really don't know their background or where they come from in life. And then you understand of like when something go wrong, they react a certain way. But if we sit down and have the positive, uncomfortable conversations, then you really start to understand who you're dealing with. And that's male or female. And I tell people, young people all the time, is like you're in a relationship with somebody that could be the father or mother of your children, and you really don't know them. Y'all know each other in spurts. Y'all know each other like, when I come pick you up for a date. But you don't know, like, it's crazy to say this. If I met a woman, I'm 40. If I met a woman at 40 years old and she's 35, I'm dealing with 35 years of stuff that I'm indirectly dealing with and don't even know it. And so I could tell you this here is like, and I realized when going into therapy was when I had my daughter and realized my daughter's mother, I didn't think about certain things. And then I started to look at things. I'm like, wow, if I would have sat down and instead of being caught in this moment of seeing this beautiful, educated woman and we got to know each other back history, everything would have worked out. And so, and then it just goes into also, it's like, I would tell, my lady is like, why can't we talk as best friends? And you know how like I would tell Callie something, but I should be able to tell my girl the same thing. And then that's very unfair that your best friends would know more about you than the partner that you lay your head beside. And that's very scary.
It is scary. And I kind of want to shift this just a little bit because when it comes to your work, especially in the art space, Ronaldo, I've had the pleasure of talking to you before about how just the things that you are facing, and Callie, you as well, the things that you all face reflect in the art that you create or how your art evolves over time. So talk a little bit about how even having conversations like this with different people have either encouraged or evolved the work that you're already doing.
Man, it's so crazy when I reached out to Callie and we did mines, and everybody saw it. It was like, bruh, that's insane. I mean, it gets real deep. It gets real deep. Like, so if you haven't watched it, go back and see it. But it's like, it opened up a lot of men now hitting me like, yo, bro, like, you talked about things from like generational wealth and things like that. In the Black community, we talk about it, but people don't live it. Like I was telling Callie, I said, I have a will and a trust and a dynasty trust. So my daughters would never have to want for nothing. I went back and I owned my great grandparents' land and property, which now is in my business trust, in my trust to my daughters. So it could never be sold because I went back and got it. You get what I'm saying? My art collection that, is very prominent, that is going to be donated between the High Museum and the Historically Black College Livingstone that I graduated from. So that's the generational wealth too, is that as well. It's like, that just, when people hear that you have those things, it's an educational thing because nobody told me that you got to have a will or a trust to protect yourself. I just saw something with PNB Rock girlfriend said that he didn't have a will or a trust, and now all of his money is in probate and nobody is just gone. His kids would never have anything. And I was like, she was like, yo, we too young to understand it. So I said, you know what? I'm glad that me and Callie have this place to have that conversation because at the end of the day, I could die even any second. That would be unselfish for me to be living and not think about my daughters. So that's why I went ahead and got a state lawyer. And that money that we gonna spend on clothes and shoes, I gave it to her to build myself in paperwork so my daughters will be taken care of.
Setting yourself up. And Callie, same question for you. How has having conversations like this helped evolve not just your brand, but the work that you were able to do when you sit down with people and they show you a piece? This is what I want.
Um, for me, ink therapy and starting these episodes recently, I'm 10 years in tattoo. I've had a million years. I'm any entrepreneur like where I'm done. I want to tat no more. I'm over it. I don't know if I have love for it. But over the years, I learned that you have to have hobbies. You have to have other things that like get your attention. I take vacations. That's my thing. I'm gonna take a trip. And just to reset your mind. Just to reset your mind. Remember why you do what you do. Me doing the ink therapy episodes, it helped me because I'm realizing that like through my vulnerability, it's other people out here like you said like that are as black men like we afraid to be that. We afraid to be vulnerable, and it's okay. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to talk about what's going on because I don't have a guide. Like don't nobody give you a guideline for feelings and emotions. We all feel different. So if I could take your vision and I can give you a piece of artwork, because that's what tattoos are nowadays, it's artwork. If I can give that to you so you can live on with that for the rest of your life and your time being something to look at whenever you feel it down, you need a reminder, or just even with the actual episodes, and people can look at it and they can take anything from it. If it can change one life, or if it, that's all it takes. All it takes is one person. So if I can change one person's life every day, that's cool with me. I feel like I heard Nip say before, just talking about this, it's inspiration. Like the highest human act is to inspire. So that's kind of like the path forward right now with this.
And when you have somebody come in, you're depending on the piece, they're in the chair for a while. And so I got to give you your flowers real quick because one, I feel like we hear it all the time that men don't talk, like you said, especially black men. And it almost feels like sometimes, correct me if I'm wrong, that the space isn't ever really provided for you to feel safe enough to talk. And so I appreciate that ink therapy is a thing because hearing these notable people who we're all very familiar with talk about the troubles that they face, we're so caught up in what's on Instagram that everything looks good. So watching this, dang, you would never know just in hindsight, you would never know what that person is going through because we don't get that one-on-one moment. So I got to know, what is the conversation like to get somebody to come on ink therapy? Like even in the very beginning, but without proof of concept. This conversation about to be recorded. I'm about to tell your business about to get told. Like,
all right, so like for these episodes, it was crazy. Like Ronaldo came to this, he called me that morning. He wanted to prep and get his mind right. I'm like, bro, it's not an interview. It's talking. Yeah, it's just having a conversation. Like we just gonna let it flow. But I think anybody moving forward, like I just did a face tattoo for Quavo, in honor of Takeoff, and of course I didn't document, I didn't report it because sometimes you have to be human. I could put it out there and like, oh, this give me all the fame, whatever. Nah, you have to be human sometimes. But like even just he just said it out of his mouth. I want to give you episode. I want to do every episode, and I think when people see the episodes, when they reach out to me like, hey, I want to do one, it's easier for me on my end versus me reaching out to everybody. Now, of course, I'm gonna have some people I want to reach out to. Now they'll come to be like, hey, we need to get so and so. Or Cam might hit me up, hey, we need to get so and so. It's like that's fine, but it's like, let me take the time and get to know these people a little bit. But some people I actually like. I've been tattooing for years. So I know. I know like a lot of the athletes. I'm majority to athletes, but a lot of the music people, you come through Atlanta, you come through me. You gonna sit in my chair. We gonna know each other. Even if you don't know, we gonna get to know each other. Because I'm a person. So I'm not gonna treat you like something different. I'm gonna treat you like a human, just like I treat everybody else. I don't treat anybody differently. So it's just easy. I'm an easy person to talk to. You know what I'm saying? I'm down to earth. I don't think I'm bigger than anybody. I don't put myself on a pedestal. 'Cause we're all humans, and I think that's what a lot of people in today's society lack is like being a healer. People forget to be healers and just think it's just because you have a certain type of status that you're just above. We have to be humans, bro. Look out for one another. Like, each one.
And if you're like at your like your homeboy house, you know what I'm saying? When you're having a conversation, it's not it's not stage. It's not you just have Chase and Callie there. And it's like a joke. It's joking too because one thing about, like I told Callie is like his gift that I realize is he has his comfort that is just like, you sit in the chair and he taps real fast too. So he's not telling you because the whole time he tell you, oh man, I tap real fast. I'm like, all right, Kelly. So, like him, I don't have no room. So I'm sitting here like, yo, where I'm gonna get chatted at? You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, daughters and issues on my hands. You know what I'm saying? I don't, but it was like, it's just a smooth conversation. You know what I'm saying? And it's over and done with. You're talking longer than the tattoo session is. And so when you see it, you're not realizing he knocked the tattoo out in 5 minutes. But our conversation was like an hour. You know what I'm saying? And his gift is like, it's very common. And then when I reached out to him, I said, yo, listen, bro, I want to help you because we're the same, but with so many different people. And so it's like now everybody's coming up, like, hey man, I want to sit down and, do the ink therapy and stuff. So it's like, and I tell people, and the first thing they ask me, dear Callie, bro, what question you gonna ask me? I say, listen, bro, this is gonna be the most ill conversation and you're gonna get the most rawest emotions out of somebody. You know what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful thing. And I think that we should make this ink therapy as big as every podcast that goes on because you don't see it nowhere. You don't see a space where a young Black tattoo artist bringing these different walks of life and having an uncut conversation. This ain't no edit. It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing, man.
And I'm excited about it. I mean, just the clips that I saw definitely made me want to go watch because I'm a story person. And I love to know the why behind somebody got into the field that they got into. And through hearing what we just heard, it almost gives you the answer without asking, well, how did you get started? And so I guess to transition just one more time, I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought real quick. I'm having a moment. It happens. It happens. And I will be honest. It's happening. Okay, this is what I was going to say. So talking with people like this can be very heavy. And I'm an empath. So I be feeling all the things that I really don't need to be feeling.
Yeah. You watch this episode?
Oh, don't watch it. Don't watch it.
Yeah. Oh, don't watch it.
Listen. No, listen. I'm trying to tell you, dude, it's crazy. Like, I'm not, I laughed at Callie. I said, yo, bro, you gonna cry, right? I said, bro, you gonna cry. And Brandon was the one crying. But it was crazy part was I stated it and I said, yo, I'm not crying because it's a beautiful thing when you can feel it. But I'm trying to tell you, don't want to cry. Don't watch it. I promise you.
But some people, they get to watching or listening to certain music just to get that cry out.
It's not.
If you need to get that cry out, that's something.
Yeah, if you need to get that cry out, me and Callie gonna make you cry. It's trust me.
It's a tearjerker.
It's given if you love your brother, hug your brother.
No, more than that.
What?
It's deep.
Oh, well, I'm definitely going to watch it. Y'all going to watch it?
And listen, after you watch it, I guess comment, between me and Callie, because I love getting the perspective of it. Especially, and it was so crazy. We saw more women. Listen, crazy thing, and I'm stop. More women walked up to me after they saw this, and I never knew. I was in Chick-fil-A. A woman walked up on me. She's like, "You look like the guy that was on ink therapy." And I was like, I was and she was like, it was the most beautiful thing. Her insight. And she went back to her. Yeah, she went back to her her husband, they was married for like 15 years. She said she went back to her husband and apologized because she was never that transparent with her husband. Think about that.
You doing the Lord's work. That's what it sounds like.
In Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
And then
Have a blessed day.
you know, and then there was the craziest part was, but it then is like, oh, you're older than me. So then I'm like, this is something that is our purpose with ink therapy. You know what I'm saying? It's like to really say in our face, like, yo, be intentional and stop painting this makeup when you're in relationships with your partners. That's your partner, your friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. That y'all really have to have these uncomfortable, beautiful conversations and stop liking your person when it's beneficial for you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, again, your best friend, and I get it, that comfortability, but how are you more loyal to a person you don't lay your head beside than the person that you lay your head beside?
And it goes even further than that, y'all. I mean, we got to set our boundaries and we got to set our intentions, right? And that's with relatives. And that can be an even harder conversation than the one to have with a partner, depending on your situation. So being honest with yourself, being honest with the people you surround yourself with, because we do live in seasons. And some seasons, seasons have ends, okay? And people have ends, so do what you got to do. On that note, the question originally was, being an empath, how do you shake that off when you're done with the conversation? How do you release what you just took in, Callie?
I don't think I release it. I think I just accept it for what it is. I'm in the space to where I'm intentional with how I move. I'm intentional with how I take things. I'm intentional on what I put out, how I treat people, how I perceive things. So I don't think I release it. I think I just take it in, and I'm honored, honestly, that you feel this comfortable having this conversation with me. And like, if I could say something to do something to change your perspective or the narrative to make things move in a better way for you. Cause like, life is short. Like, tomorrow is a promised failure. So it's like, I want my last impression to be a good impression. And I don't want it to be fake. I want it like, this is real, this is raw, this is who I am. Take me for who I am, take you for who you are. And just leave it right there. So I don't think I have to release. But though I'm like I said, honored to like have those conversations with people.
Well, I am honored to have this conversation with you. Thank you for both being vocal, because I am learning the same way I feel like we all are kind of learning in how to navigate difficult conversations, but especially with Black men. You guys carry a lot of weight on your shoulders, a lot of weight that was never yours to begin with. And so on that note, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Okay.
Ain't there limited to men? We're gonna throw a curveball and add women to it too as well, because it's not just about a platform for men. It's just kind of ironically that Callie, it started that way, but no, I think it's gonna be all the way across the board. It's not race, whatever. It's gonna be all the way across the board to help, like Callie said, to understand humans. You know what I'm saying? So, everybody follow, the Ink Therapy page, and it's gonna be amazing, man. The people that we're gonna have come on there, trust me, it's gonna be insane.
Sounds like tomorrow's about to be kind of lit. All right, y'all give it up for Ink by Callie and Ronaldo Nehemiah. What you do?